You know, I've been behind this microphone. It'll soon be 22 years, right, Mr. Producer? With the same company, although it keeps changing. It went from ABC radio networks to Citadel to Cumulus, and then Cumulus was bought out. And so it's Cumulus Westwood One. I haven't changed. They keep changing. And you've stood by me thick and thin. Some of you now go to the podcast. Some of you now go to satellite. Some of you now go to live streaming with the apps. And so we have multiple platforms. And, of course, our great affiliates. So I learned today, it's conveyed to me, that there's a complaint, Mr. Producer. You know what the complaint is? That I turned down erectile dysfunction commercials. Westwood One is upset with yours truly because I say no ED commercials on my radio show, whether voiced or recorded. It's always been my position because salespeople will do anything for a buck except the right thing. And I explain to them, my audience doesn't want to hear about erectile dysfunction. You could have young people listening. They don't want to hear about erectile dysfunction. I don't want to hear about erectile dysfunction. And sometimes, salespeople and companies need to do what's right. And so I just point this out. There are people who would pressure me to put all kinds of slop on this broadcast. I refuse to do it to you. It ain't going to happen. I try to prevent it on TV when I'm there. I tell them, no, don't run those things. We certainly don't do it on Blaze. And so I will continue to reject anything that has to do with that kind of stuff or other bodily functions. And, you know, these companies that push this ED stuff and this, you know, hemorrhoid stuff and all that, they'll spend a fortune because they're looking for platforms that are stupid enough to take the money. Stupid enough to take the money. So you see, I'm just too classy, Mr. Producer. I think that was the word. That I just won't lower myself to do these things. Other hosts do it. You know who they are. You listen to it. The money comes flowing in. Other hosts do it. But I'm not. Or anything like it. Rush Limbaugh told me something a long time ago. And there's not a salesperson, a corporate executive, anything that will change it or change me. That you have to have integrity. That you have to respect your audience. Even though you're going to be pressured not to. I would do it anyway, that is, have integrity and respect my audience, without Rush ever telling me that. But that's why you and I are different. You, my audience, and I, how I view you, we're different. You'll have hosts that'll sell anything. So that it'll go through the sales department, it'll come to me, and I'm the final checkoff, right, Mr. Producer? And I've had to stop a number of things that I cannot get behind, I cannot trust. It might be a sponsor I can't trust. It might be a service or a product I can't trust. Or it might be something that's just grotesque. Like pushing erectile dysfunction creams or something like that. That's not going to happen here. Ever. You know, in the media, they call this whoring yourself. And you've heard hosts who whore themselves. And by the way, in all forms of media, including all the leftists at CNN and MSNBC, and you look at the pages of the New York Times, they have all kinds of sick crap advertisement going on. But not here. Not as long as I'm here. That's not going to happen. You know what else it says? When you see advertisements like that or hear them, when you see them in the New York Times or hear them on cable TV or even on radio, that tells you that whoever's doing sales for the New York Times or CNN or MSNBC or any radio network, they're not up to the job. They're not up to the job. You should not be suggesting to hosts, TV, radio, podcast, whatever they are, to push sleaze. Period. By the way, I'm not just talking about swirling around me. I'm talking about swirling around everybody. You've got to have enough integrity. You've got to have enough ethics. You've got to have enough morality to say, as the final stop, no. No. So you won't hear that stuff coming out of my mouth. You'll hear it coming out of other people's mouths. You will. Even friends. But not mine. But not mine. I have a family. I have children. I have grandchildren. I don't talk to them this way. Why would I talk to all of you, the whole nation? Why would I talk to the whole nation this way? Period. It's not worth it. We have fun here. We joke around here. We're very serious here. We get into substance like nowhere else. We talk about history and economics. I play music like most hosts don't because I like to. This is what I do. I've created names for individuals. Used to share some with Rush and so forth. That's what I do. We have a fantastic substantive program, a fantastic audience, and fantastic affiliates. Fantastic. And it's going to stay that way. Don't you agree, Mr. Producer? Mr. Producer has been with me for the whole time. Right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. And the funny thing is, companies come and go, for the most part, especially in radio. As I said, I haven't moved. Same microphone. ABC Radio Networks, Citadel, Cumulus Westwood One. The executives keep changing. Managers keep changing. The sales force, I'm probably with my 7th sales executive. They keep changing. But you've got to have some core, some conscious. And conservative talk radio has to be the defense for these things because there won't be any others. There won't be any others. So I just pass that along to you. So we have this attorney general in the state of New York. Her name is Letitia James. She should have been disbarred from day one. There are rules of professional ethics in every single state that if people are running for positions, prosecutorial positions, DAs, attorneys general, and so forth, they have to run their campaigns in a certain way that don't violate the rules of professional ethics for lawyers. She violated the rules. You're not supposed to campaign about how you're going to target somebody. And so she should be punished because the theory is you're doing damage to the legal profession. In addition to the justice system and to the person you're targeting. But in New York, the whole damn thing is corrupt. Why? Because it's controlled by the Democrats up and down the chain. It's a totalitarian party. And they like Letitia James. And so what Letitia James did is she found a statute that's never been used, as you know. It's never been used in this way, where a person is not guilty of fraud, where a person has paid off all their debt, even early, where you even have banks who've testified on behalf of the person. There's no complainant, none. And yet there's that statute, which has nothing to do with real estate development. She dusts it off. She brings it in front of a radical, left-wing, bizarre, freakish, elected state judge. That's as low as it gets, these elected trial judges. I didn't say they're all low. I said that's as low as it gets on the judicial chain. He's running for office in one of the most left-wing Democrat areas in the country. And he made a spectacle of his courtroom. Trump didn't. He did. He finds Trump guilty on the papers before Trump ever steps into the courtroom. And now what Letitia James is trying to do, like Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, when I remember that black and white photo, him walking down the street with reporters pointing to buildings with left and right, office buildings, companies, estates. And he said in Spanish, see that? That now belongs to us. See that? That now belongs, just walking down the street, nationalizing properties on behalf of the government. Destroyed Venezuela. And Donald Trump is being told that you have to put up $500 million, which is the amount of money that the judge determined he has to pay the state. You have to put up the entire amount in order to even file an appeal. So they boxed him in. They boxed Trump in. If he doesn't appeal, he loses $500 million. If he does appeal, he has to give up $500 million. And what's happening is, apparently, I've read he's approached like 30 potential massive lenders, and none of them want anything to do with it. You want to know why? Because they're scared. They don't want to get dragged into this. They see the power of one-party rule, the power of government. They don't want to be destroyed with these phony statutes and these phony judges and these phony prosecutors. And now Letitia James, while she's putting out the information that she wants to take away his golf club in New Jersey, which is where Donald Trump has his home on the East Coast, by the way, and Trump Tower, and sell them as fast as possible for the $500 million, even before an appellate court has ruled. This buffoonish clown in a black robe judge, today he ordered the prosecutor who he appointed to oversee Trump's properties to be prepared to sell them. Right out from under him. Before he even has his due process. That is, a right to appeal. I said the other day that Republican billionaires need to get together and lend him the money so he can file his appeal. Now, obviously, they'd get paid back because he's got all that real estate, and that's good collateral. Of course, the left thought that was kind of funny. Now, on The View, where you have at least two anti-Semites, all grifters, especially Griffin the grifter, they think it's funny. Sonny Houston, who claims to be a lawyer, says she can't wait until they put the chain locks on Trump Tower. She'd like to be there to see it. These are totalitarians who do not believe in liberty, who do not believe in civil liberties, and do not believe in your rights. They would just assume a mass murder have unfettered access to appeal after appeal after appeal than Donald Trump. Now, this is going to affect the city of New York. It's going to further destroy the state of New York, which is what they want. But I want to tell you one other thing quickly before the break. When the government get used to stealing things and taking things, you're in their crosshairs too, and it's already happened. How has it happened? It's already happened. It's already happened to you.